Good evening and welcome and hello to everybody that's out there. We are actually back after a couple of weeks where things were unavailable and I'm working on something rather odd. What I'm gonna do, in theory, is you may have heard that SpaceX is planning to attempt recovery of their fairings. Well, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to build some fairings out of wings and then try flying these things through re-entry? Moreover, I thought, how could we make this more awesome? Well, we could add little pilot seats and actually have crew trying to surf the fairings back through the atmosphere. So, that's what I'm doing. I've no idea if this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a go. So we're putting a fake fairing around it because otherwise the aerodynamics won't work properly, right? That's what we're doing here. So the hard part is I'm going to have to now cheat to get the crew in their little seats. Yes, this is it. This is Matryoshka fairings, right? It's Okay, so can I get him out of here? Let's see if I can EVA him. Yeah, that didn't work. Yeah, okay, revert to launch. We'll just launch this into space and then we'll do the transition while we're plummeting through the atmosphere, so to speak. You know what we say about plummeting. I like plummeting. I like plummeting, plummeting through the air. What we're doing is we're going to try flying fairings, aerodynamic style. Why? Because SpaceX is planning something like that, and it seems fun. It's like a big space surfboard. In fact, I think it could be a new sport. It's like people will pay to go up and they'll have a whole bunch of surfboards that make up the fairing, and they'll just like pop open and then they'll all try and re-enter. I think that would be a great idea. I am all for it. Okay, so now, just gonna do this. Oh. There, just keep this thing pointed roughly the right direction. There we go. Okay, roughly the right direction. And next, gonna ditch this. And now we're going roughly the right altitude. We're gonna EVA, and this is where it gets fun, because I want to try and board this seat here. Okay. Let's put the light on. Kind of have to try flying over that. Oh, there we go. Oh. Board the seat, board the seat, board. Yes, okay, I've boarded this. Now, F5. So here's the next part. Now we want to jettison these fairings. Oh, that should work. Try that again. Aha! So now we're in this. Aha! Look! I've now got a space boat! Okay, so now point this in roughly the right direction. Oh man, this is totally working! Now obviously the rest of the spacecraft, I should like point that in the right direction and then fire its engines and off it goes. I'll just leave it, right? So it's going off into orbit, right? We don't need to worry about this. What we really care about is Jebediah flying this kind of fairing back through the atmosphere. What do you think? Do you think I can soft land this thing? All this for a space boat? No, it's a fairing. We're performing fairing recovery like SpaceX does. Except that we're making them crude because, Kerbals like to do that. Kerbals are proper badasses. They appreciate this stuff. This thing might just backflip, right? Let's be clear, because I don't know where the center of mass is. I should probably have taken this fuel tank and moved it further forward. I don't honestly know how this thing will fly. But I'm going to try and keep it pointed roughly this way. I think, given that I've got this big section here, that it will want to just pitch up continuously. And that is a... Yep. Oh, it's definitely wanting to pitch up. Yeah, it's wanting to go into reverse. Okay, so that isn't working very well. Oh, actually, that may be not too bad. So I definitely need more weight forwards on this thing. Okay, so now we're following a very high angle of attack here. This is far from ideal, and we just can't pitch nose down. You see that? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to revert flight to the spaceplane hangar, and we're going to add some more mass to the nose. Okay, so I'm going to let the altitude get up a bit. We've got a tiny amount of thrust here, and then we'll descend into the atmosphere very, very quickly. Okay, so 52 kilometers up, F5, time to EVA. And... Board. That's us in there. Next. I'll leave that thing behind. Okay. And this is not the one I'm looking for. This is the one I'm looking for. Okay. Let's try this again. You know what? I maybe should time accelerate, flying a boat through space, and then discovering that perhaps the boat is in the wrong place. Should we create an awesome name for this space boat? I think we're just going to call it Fair's Fair. Right? Get it? Fair's Fair? No? Fairing McFairing face? How about we call it Boaty McFairing? Boaty McFairing. That's it. Boaty McFairing. Huh? No? You guys don't remember Bobby McFerrin? No? Oh, you guys. Philistines! Okay, once again, I'm going to try and ask this to hold attitude and see if it can do it. I'm also going to increase the authority limiter on these. I'm going to give these like maximum authority limiting. Okay, look. This is actually working now. Obviously he's going to burn up. I mean, maybe he'll not burn up. Please don't burn up. At some point I should probably... oh no, there! He's managed to survive re-entry. Yes! Okay, now... I mean, I think maybe, like, now that I've demonstrated the concept, I should just concentrate on building this thing to make it fly. And then, you know, stick it inside a fairing so we can test our fairing recovery system. Yeah, I'm basically having to run the thing pitched nose down to keep it wanting to fly. But I think the fact that I've reduced speed to like 160 meters per second at 17 kilometers is a pretty good sign that this thing has a lot of drag. Yeah. Look at that, it practically flies itself despite the fact we basically have a 100% pitch down. Maybe I'll just let it fly for a while. Maybe it'll behave like the cornfield bomber. You know the story about the cornfield bomber? That was pilot was involved in air combat maneuvers and he stalled and it went into a spin and he tried to regain control of his aircraft. And eventually, after repeated shouts from his wingman, he eventually ejected. and seconds after he ejected, the aircraft regained stability. And it then flew kind of very gently and landed at a cornfield. It landed so softly that they were able to refurbish the aircraft and fly it again. It's a pretty fun and famous story. Yeah, look, this thing is just kind of corkscrewing down very slowly. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll push nose down and then flare it a little at the end. Nose down. 100 meters. And bitch up. Yes! A successful fairing recovery. I think we have proved that Elon Musk's concept is totally valid. Yes. So the story with Tony Probe was that I misspelled tiny, and then it became a joke, and then I wrote a song about Tony Probe. And I sang it on ukulele. Let's try this. Oh, there we go. Now we're flying. And the thing totally just pitches up regardless of how hard I try. And it doesn't roll either. Because the roll controls are... Oh, I get a bit of roll control now. Let's try this. Yeah, look, the yaw control is actually more powerful than the roll. The good news is that with this thing, it's unlikely to be able to damage anything if it hits the ground because it's moving so slowly. It is merely moving about 60 miles per hour, so at worst it'll smash some windows. Yay! Okay. See? Those things were light as a feather and nothing exploded that we didn't intend to. And we have the breakdancing probe cores. I think thrust vectoring will solve my control surfaces issues. Should we turn on the jet? Let's turn it into wet mode. There! You see, now it's not pitching up all the time. Oh, look! There we go! Okay, now we need some roll control here. Oh! I think what happens is as soon as it starts to pitch up, the rocket vector moves into the body and it gets occluded so it doesn't generate any thrust. As soon as it goes like that, it starts to move, and as soon as it... You see that? And then it stops generating thrust there. That is some really weird dynamics there, I have to say. Let's actually just disable thrust vectoring on this thing. Gimbal. Locked. I am actually controlling this for some approximation of control. I mean... like... It basically is I roll roughly the direction I want to go, and then once I'm facing that direction, I have to perform corkscrews to keep it going in roughly the right direction. See? I know which direction I'm going here. You see? I'm actually going in roughly the right direction, and now I'm heading towards the ground. I should probably, you know, make sure that I pull up a bit. Let's try and head towards the vehicle assembly building, right? See, this is totally controllable. I mean, it looks like it would make you seasick, but I'm totally flying this thing. Let's try and land it here. Brilliant, you see? Not only was that thing... Oh, well, other than falling. Let's try flying it again. Like, you guys probably thought that I couldn't control that, right? But no, you know, I just was very carefully learning how to fly this thing. Space boats. Okay, then we crashed into something. So I'm gonna disable the gimbal, I'm gonna toggle the mode, and I'm gonna activate the engine. Okay. Yes! Oh, look, it's actually picking up altitude. We've built a helicopter. Oh, I've made one... This is a one-wing only helicopter, yeah. I think most of the actual vertical thrust is coming from the fact that the engine exhaust is angled down and that's pushing it upwards. And the wing is just kind of keeping it stable in that orientation. Because one of these days it will realize that it has moved beyond the limits of its programming. And then it shall be punished for its transgressions, oh yes. It will find itself coming back to Kerbin with a rather explosive bump like it is now. Oh, wait, it found a new mode of spinning. And it started to go upwards. Wow, it went through some kind of spin transition there, probably because the fuel mass was redistributed. Yep, now it's coming and flying up into the air again. Let's see how far that goes before it decides to change its mind. This is scientific, I'm sure. I've already made monocopters work in Kerbal Space Program for sure. Oh look, now we've picked up a new way of operating now that the aerodynamics of this has changed. Like, I could probably enable... You know, actually, let's try this. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. Let's enable gimbal control. And I'm going to throttle down, actually. And I'm going to switch to regular mode. Right, so I get no roll control here. But maybe I've got some sort of... Okay. Okay, that is really not working the way I'd like it to. Okay, none of these things appear to be working. Well, so much for me getting control of this thing. Hey, the probe core survived! It's entirely possible that this probe actually survives landing on the island. Let's find out. No, it's all dead. And that's all dead. And we still have the seat. Look, you see if there was a pilot in it, the pilot would have totally survived. You know what they say? A good landing is any landing you can walk away from, and that pilot would have totally been able to escape that and then have a very entertaining run down this hill. Like, who would not want to do this? Seriously. Oh man.